Today, let's walk through the steps of how to sew this simple keychain. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today we are going to walk through the steps of how you can make this simple keychain. Now, this keychain is a really great beginner project. We're going to be talking about how you turn things right side out, how you hand sew, buttons, and more. So to make this keychain, you're going to need a variety of different items that you may have on hand or you need to get that can be used in future projects. First, if you really want to make this a keychain that you can attach easily, I would highly recommend getting these little key rings. I use these for non-sewing related projects as well, so you can get smaller packs if you only need one or two. But once you have that, you're also going to want some cotton fabric, really any type of cotton material, and then you're going to need some interfacing. So interfacing allows us to make our fabric be a little sturdier. It's going to have a smooth side and then a bumpy side, as this is fusible interfacing. You want to make sure it's light to medium weight fusible interfacing. And then you're just going to want to have some thread, a needle, as well as some buttons. So you could have as many buttons as you would like. I'm going to go with 3. And now once you have everything laid out, we're going to start the process of cutting out the fabric for our keychain. So for this, you're going to want to cut 2 rectangles that are 2 inches by 3 inches. Now when you cut these out, there's lots of different ways you can go about it, but you just really want to have 2 rectangles that are 2 by 3 inches, and this will be the front and the back of our keychain. So once you have those cut out, we are then going to go ahead and cut out a smaller rectangle. So this one is going to be 1 inch by 3 inches as well. So once you have both of those cut out, we can go ahead and then move over to our interfacing. So this is all the fabric we're going to be using for this project. Now the interfacing, the way we're cutting this out is it's going to be the same measurements as that 2 by 3 inch rectangle. The only thing is when you're using interfacing, sometimes you want it to be a little bit smaller than whatever the item you are using the interfacing on. So for example, mine is that 2 by 3 inch rectangle. For the interfacing, this is probably closer to like 1.75 inches, and then probably about like 2.5 inches. So it helps when we add it onto our fabric that it's a little bit smaller, so we're not worried about the stickiness getting onto the iron. So now that we have those 2 pieces cut out for the interfacing, we're going to go ahead and go over to our iron and then add it to our fabric. So the bumpy side of your interfacing is going to go on the wrong side of your fabric, and then you're just going to press your iron on top. Some types of interfacing have different manufacturer instructions, so be sure to check that. But what happens is after you press it for about 4 or 5 seconds, it does make your fabric firmer and just a little bit more structure. So this is going to allow our keychain to hold up a little bit better. Then for that smaller rectangle, just give it a nice press, and then once you have it all pressed out, fold it in half long ways. So you can see I'm just folding it in half along that long edge, and then I'm going to press this again. So this is going to give me a nice crease in the middle. And then once you have that crease, what we are then going to do is fold either of those long edges towards the middle, towards that crease. So we are now taking 2 more folds, so one for that bottom piece, and then a fold for the top piece. And then once you have it all folded in, you're going to press this all out again. And you want to give this a really nice substantial press so that those creases stay in place. And then once it is there, you can then take your iron off, see what it looks like. So in this case, mine worked out well. You can see I have both those creases for the top and bottom. The fabric comes into the middle, and then I'm just going to fold this all back up so that I have no more raw edges. So the raw edges of the fabric are all encased. And now I'm just going to go over this with my iron, press it all out, and then for this newly folded fabric, I can then go through and then add pins to hold it together. So this is going to be the little loop for our keychain. We really wanted to make sure though that there was no raw edges, which this method allowed us to do. So now I'm just going to go through and put some pins in here to hold this in place so that I can then go over to my sewing machine and take a straight stitch. So about 1/8 of an inch away from where that fold is on the edge. So we're just going to take a straight stitch all the way through. And now when we go over to my sewing machine, you can see I have it all set up. It's on a straight stitch. The stitch length I am going to just leave as is, but you could increase it slightly if you wanted. And then I'm just going to take that straight stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Now one thing that may come up is you can see on the back that I have my presser foot down. It may struggle because this is a smaller, thicker piece of fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing, and as you can see, it's not really catching on, it's sort of getting stuck. So to avoid this problem, I'm just going to add like this ruler in the back to basically level out my presser foot, and then once I begin sewing, you'll see that it's able to now move along, it can get started, and there's really no issue. So if you have that happen to you, you could definitely just add a piece of cardboard or just a lot of fabric folded together to the back. But here is what that seam now looks like. So it is nice, it's held in place. So we're now done with the initial step for this loop. So now we're going to go back over to the rest of our fabric, so the pieces that we add the interfacing to. So there's 2 pieces of fabric here. I'm going to match them with right sides together. And then as you can see, I am now just going to begin the process of pinning these up so that we can take a seam all the way around. So I like to use 2 pins to denote where I'm going to be starting and where I'm going to be stopping. So I'm going to be starting at this one portion, and then I'm going to also put the double pins for where I'm stopping, as I want to leave that along that larger edge. And then I'm just going to take pins all the way around the rest of this until I get to that 4th edge. So this edge over here, I'm going to consider this the top of my keychain. I'm going to open this up so you can see that that's where the right edges of the fabric are. And then I'm going to fold that little loop that we made. So here is my folded loop. And then I'm just going to put this inside. So in where we have our 2 fabrics that they're coming together, I'm just going to put this inside of the keychain and then pin all of this in place. So pinning down where those 2 little loop edges are on the outside. You want to be sure that you're able to still see them and that we're going to be sewing that up in our seam all the way around the outside of this keychain. So if you look here, the double pin is where I'm going to be starting and stopping, and then I'm going to be leaving a gap. So as we go through this, you can sort of see where that loop is. I'm going to be adjusting this with my fingers as I go all the way around. So the white and purple pins are where the edges of that loop is at. So I'll be able to sew that up in this seam too. So now I'm going to be starting where the first double pin mark is. I'm going to take those 2 pins out and then just begin sewing. So I'm going to take a back stitch at the beginning and end, being sure that this is a secure stitch, and then go down till I am about 3/8 of an inch away from the edge, put my needle into the fabric. So then I'm going to lift up the presser foot, turn this 90 degrees, put the presser foot back down, and continue sewing. So this is all done in one continuous stitch, and then I'm just going to continue all the way until I get to the next corner, following that same guidance where I go about 3/8 of an inch, lift up the presser foot, put that back down, the needle still in the fabric, and then continuing this for the 3rd edge. So for this edge, you can see that I do need to adjust my fabric a little. I want to be sure that the loop is not in the way of the seam. So just putting my finger into the side where the gap is to adjust where that loop is. And now I can continue sewing until I get back down to the next corner, where when I get to this corner, doing the same pivoting action where I put the needle into the fabric, rotating my fabric. And now at this point, I'm going to be sewing over the edges of the loop. So for this, I'm going to take my time, be sure that I am catching those so that when I turn this right side out, you wouldn't see those raw edges and that they are nice and secure. And then finally, when I get to the last corner, pivoting and just taking a small seam there to wherever that mark was, and then I'm going to backstitch and then do another stitch just to secure it in place. But at this point, the whole seam is now done. So you can see we've sewn all the way around. We have everything completely sewn, so now I'm just going to go through and trim some of this fabric. Now when I say trim some of the fabric, I'm going to be clipping these corners so I can get as close to the seam as possible. I'm not cutting through the seam though, and this is just going to allow us to be a little easier to turn this. So a lot of the times, especially when you have smaller projects like this, you want to trim some of that extra seam just so it's not as bulky. And now I'm going to turn this right side out, so with that gap that I used, just push the fabric through. You can see that I have that little loop that's coming through nicely, so that is nice and secure. And then I'm going to just keep pushing out the corners. If you do notice that you're having an issue really getting those corners to kind of pop out, you could use a pencil, a knitting needle, a pen, but at first glance, this is sort of what mine looks like. I see that I have a few strings, so I'm just going to cut those off so it looks nice and neat. And now I'm just going to poke out some of these corners a little bit more. You really want them to try to be as close to being all the way out as you can, so when we take that top stitch. So now with all of this done, you can just go through, press this out one more time if you'd like, so it's nice and flat and smooth. And for that gap that we have on the one side, I'm just going to pin this in place so that it stays closed. And we are just going to top stitch all the way around this rectangle so that we close up that gap, as well as make it so that it just looks a little bit more professional. So for this, you can increase your stitch length slightly to like a 3.0 if you'd like. That's more up to you. And I'm just going to go through, follow that same technique, doing about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. If you get stuck at any of the corners, be sure to use that technique we talked about earlier of putting something down behind it so that the presser foot can get over those corners a little more easier. And then this is what the top stitch now looks like. So we've gone through, trimmed everything up, and we now have this fun little keychain that could be used just as is. Now, since we're talking about every step in this project, be sure to trim any of those extra threads. You no longer need those. So I'm just going through, trimming it up, making it sure it looks nice and clean. So here is my keychain. So now what it's time to do is to add some buttons and the little hardware. So first, I'm just going to add that key ring at the top. So for this, it just sort of slides on. So very similar to any other type of key ring. And now it is just time for us to add the buttons. So the buttons are a completely optional step. I think though this is like one of your first beginner projects, this could be a really great way to learn how to sew buttons on. So first just go through, figure out how you want to have your buttons lay, and then you're going to be taking a needle and thread the needle. And then when you get to the end of those threads, be sure they're even. And you can see that I have 2 threads here at the end. And so I'm just going to go through and create a little loop and then push those ends through the loop to create a small knot. So now that I have knotted my thread, I can go ahead and pick up my keychain as well as one button to start with. So I'm going to start with this heart button, and I'm going to put my needle through just one layer of fabric. So I'm only doing the top layer of fabric, and then I'm going to knot this as well. And then once I do that, make sure it's nice and secure. Then I can go to the button, depending on what type of button you have, and you're going to put your needle through the hole on the back of the button. And then I'm going to go through the fabric one more time. So again, I'm only doing the top layer of fabric. It should be pretty easy for you to feel, like where the top as well as going through both of the layers. You only want to go through the top though. And then I'm just going to repeat those steps of sewing through the button, and then sewing through the fabric, and then sewing through the button, and sewing through the fabric. So this is a very repetitive process. You'll see online there's lots of different ways that you can sew buttons. Some people recommend you actually sewing with like 2 or 3 different pieces of thread so that it's a lot thicker. I have found that this is just my go-to method. The buttons normally stay on really well for me. So it really depends on what type of method you want to use when you're sewing on your buttons. And then after you've gone through about maybe like 8 to 10 times, you're just going to start to take little knots. So going into your fabric, you can see that my needle's going in, and then there'll be some sort of little loop, and then you put your needle through that to just create a little knot. And then you're just going to cut off the thread, and here is what my button looks like. So now I'm going to repeat these for the other 2 buttons. You can decide, how you really want to go through with that, but the big thing is being sure you're not going through the back of the fabric. So we only want to go through that top piece of our fabric so that we're not able to see those seams on the back. And then once you have all of your buttons on there, your keychain is then complete. So in this one small little project, we learned about turning our fabric, we learned about interfacing, we learned about sewing on buttons, we learned about top stitching. So there was a lot of different little techniques all in this one keychain. I think that this is a really fun little beginner project though. You could definitely make a lot of these. You can add them to all of your bags if you would like. And then this kind of allows you to have some more items on hand, such as interfacing or other cotton materials for future projects. I will be sure to leave a link to the playlist that has my 3-part series of getting started with sewing in case you have even more questions about your sewing machine or any of the items we covered in this video today. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.